Well, guys, it is over. Lori Lightfoot has been ousted as the mayor of Chicago. Now, you guys that actually watch our videos know that we actually have a running series, usually put out on Mondays. Rhodes actually normally does them. I've done some too, where we actually talk about the shootings and death that actually happened in the city of Chicago. Lori Lightfoot was an unmitigated disaster. She was the worst mayor in the United States of America. Another Democrat bites the dust. However, it's going to be another Democrat that actually ends up being the next mayor of Chicago. Now, hopefully, whoever ends up winning the runoff, because nobody actually got 50%, hopefully they commit to law and order, because we know that the people of Chicago, they're not going to change voting against Democrats. That is a firmly blue city. They voted in Lori Lightfoot. That tells you all you need to know. But Lori Lightfoot, she is done. And you know what? Good riddance. Good riddance. I hope that Chicago can actually get their act together. Do I believe that they will? Probably not. Probably not. But it does say something, man, that she actually didn't finish in the top two. She came in third place. She played identity politics. Of course, she's black, she's gay, so she's going to actually run with the race card and her sexuality card. It did not work. Remember, Lori Lightfoot, I believe this was a couple of weeks ago, where she was actually polling really, really bad. She told people in Chicago, if you're not going to go vote for me, don't go out and vote. That sounds a bit like a voter suppression, if you ask me. Just throwing it out there. But check this out. Right here on NBC News, Lori Lightfoot becomes the first Chicago mayor in 40 years to lose re-election. Yeah, she got destroyed in this. The people of Chicago, I guess they just got fed up with her. And I guess they're going to elect another crazy person to take her place. I hope the next person is better. Now, from what we actually understand here, the guy that was actually in the lead, he's actually supposed to be a moderate. I don't know about that. But Lori Lightfoot also lost to a progressive as well. But let's go ahead and read some of this here. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot lost her bid for re-election Tuesday, ending her historic run as the city's first black woman and first openly gay person to serve in the position. Of course, NBC News has to point that out because this is NBC News. But I wanted to use them because this is a left-leaning site right here. Lightfoot, a Democrat, failed to get enough votes in the 9-person race to move on to an April 4th runoff election, according to projections by the Associated Press. Paul Vallis, a former CEO of Chicago Schools, will face Brandon Johnson, a Cook County commissioner endorsed by the Chicago Teachers Union. That's not good right there. When a teachers union is endorsing you, that's not good. He's a progressive, and that's who Lori Lightfoot actually fell behind. Ideology, the choice between Vallis and Johnson is stark. Vallis ran as a moderate law and order candidate, while Johnson ran on an unabashedly progressive agenda. Now, when it came down to the vote totals, Paul Vallis was in the lead, so we'll actually have to see what happens in the runoff election next month. But Chicagoans sent a message that they wanted change, rejecting both an incumbent mayor and a sitting congressman. Lightfoot is the first incumbent elected Chicago mayor to lose re-election since 1983, when Jane Byrne, the city's first female mayor, lost her primary. Lightfoot conceded Tuesday night at a party in downtown Chicago, and I actually do have that video clip here. You can see here, Benny Johnson actually tweets out, breaking, Lori Lightfoot concedes in Chicago mayoral election. Let's listen into Lori Lightfoot here.
Let me just do this. So thank you and thank everyone so much. I feel a lot of love in this room. as I've felt every step of the way on this journey. I've called Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallis to congratulate them on their victories in advancing to the runoffs. We were fierce competitors in these last few months, but I will be rooting and praying for our next mayor to deliver for the people of the city for years to come.
Your class act, Mayor.
Thank you.
She's a class act. Did that person actually say that? Remember Lori Lightfoot last year actually came out and said, I believe, that she was not going to call on white reporters. Yeah, she was actively being racist. But this person says she's a class act. No, Lori Lightfoot was terrible. Terrible. Now, I wish I had another clip of another thing she said, but thanks to Dan Bongino here. Look at this title here. This is funny. Beetlejuice fails to summon enough votes. And right down here, she actually said something, and of course she had to play the race card. It says, naturally, she preemptively defended against her humiliating defeat by blaming racism. What else? According to the New York Post, quote, I'm a black woman in America, of course. She replied when asked by a reporter if she had been treated unfairly. But she called being Chicago's mayor the honor of a lifetime. Quote, regardless of tonight's outcome, we fought the right fights and we put this city on a better path. What? What better path? The city's a disaster. All right, said Lightfoot as she urged her fellow mayors around the U.S. not to fear being bold. Amid heavy criticism for the crime wave, homelessness, and other troubles plaguing the city, the mayor had also injected race into the run-up to the election. Quote, I'm a black woman, let's not forget, Lightfoot 60 told The New Yorker in a piece that ran Saturday. Certain folks, frankly, don't support us in leadership roles. Well, how did you actually get elected as a black lesbian woman then? I mean, you can't play the race card here. Crime is what did you in. The crime in Chicago is a disaster. That's what actually did Lori Lightfoot in. I mean, essentially, guys, she is the Joe Biden of Chicago. She is a disaster. Now, she still has her mental functions, but her policies are horrible. Horrible. Democrats playing the race card, man. You guys need to stop that because you can actually end up like Lori Lightfoot. I'm glad that she is gone. The people of Chicago should be happy, but be careful who you actually elect. These Democrats, man, I mean, hopefully the moderate is actually going to be a moderate because there's no way in the world that Chicago is actually going to elect a true conservative. They're just not going to do that. So hopefully it looks like Paul Vallis may end up being the next mayor. Just maybe, not really sure. We have to see how the votes go. Hopefully the moderate can actually get the crime under control because it looks like the other guy, the progressive here, it looks like he's pretty radical. I mean, he's endorsed by the teachers union, and teachers unions are pretty woke. But that is the end of Lori Lightfoot. What is she going to do next? Is Beijing Biden actually going to give her a job? I would not be surprised if Joe Biden got on the phone, called up Lori Lightfoot because she meets the qualifications for Joe Biden. Two things, black, and she's a lesbian. That's pretty much it. That's all the qualifications you need to be in a Joe Biden administration. I'm pretty sure that old Beijing Biden would probably actually want to do that because that's all he does. That's all he does. Race and sex, and that's pretty much it. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you next time.